Hey, I'm David Levithan, and welcome to the Why
Hey!
section. I'm here with Elizabeth Yulberg, who doesn't trust me to present her book without her.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, there you go. So, first there was Harry and Sally, and Elizabeth's new book, Better Off Friends. We have Macallan and Levi, who meet in 7th grade and quickly become best friends. But their friendship isn't without complications. Better Off Friends attempts to answer that age-old question, can a guy and a girl really be just friends?
I mean, we've been friends for years and it's never been a problem.
I wonder why that is.
Better Off Friends is more than a will they or won't they story. At the heart, it's about the definition of family for Macallan.
And what constitutes a home for Levi.
Macallan and Levi don't always have it easy. Guys never ask Macallan out because they assume she's with Levi.
And then when Levi gets a girlfriend, he spends all of his time with Macallan.
Levi can be so thick-headed sometimes.
And Macallan can be a bit of a perfectionist, but that's what Levi gets for being best friends with a girl.
Oh, because guys are so perfect.
Yes, and girls never overreact.
Whatever. Better Off Friends spans 5 years,
2 continents.
one cheeky BBC sitcom,
And many, many questions about their friendship, especially the most important one.
Are Macallan and Levi more than friends, or are they better off without making it more complicated? I'm really proud of Better Off Friends, and I'm literally counting the seconds until it comes out. Seriously, I'm so excited!
Whew. I'll have what she's having. Hey there, it's David Levithan again. On behalf of editor Lisa Sandell, I am really honored to be able to introduce you to Sarah Larson, the author of Defy. Defy is this amazing story about a girl who disguises herself in order to be part of a prince's guard. But then when a kidnapping occurs, she finds herself in a very, very dangerous situation that she has to fight herself out of. It's an incredible debut, and if you don't trust me, or Lisa, trust Marie Lu, the author of the Legend series, who says, "It is a wonderful tale of adventure, romance, and embracing your true self. Alexa is a heroine readers will love to follow." I have to say that Sarah Larson is an author I am really enjoying following, and I think this is just the start of an amazing, amazing career. 2 names you are probably more familiar with, but who've done something completely, completely different and groundbreaking are Kirsten White and Jim DeBartolo, who have together created this amazing book, In the Shadows. It's unlike really any book you've ever read before, and like other passion projects like the works of Brian Selznick or Sean Tan, it really reinvents what you think a book can do. It's an intriguing story told half in text and half in illustration, very mysteriously, so the 2 don't really come together until late in the game and you have to piece together the things. One story is set at the beginning of the 20th century with mysterious goings-on in a very small town that's been invaded by some very, very strange paranormal people. And then the illustrated story goes forward in time. I won't tell you how they meet up and really what is going on, because that is part of the thrill of this book. Next is Elliot Schrafer with Threatened. Now, you know Elliot for Endangered, his National Book Award finalist novel about bonobos in Africa. Now, Elliot is investigating a story involving chimps. And whereas I would do it some justice, I think Elliot does it more justice. So here he is to tell you about the book.
Threatened is about Luke, a parentless boy barely surviving on the streets in Gabon. When a stranger comes to town, Luke tries to steal the man's mysterious silver case. He's caught, but the stranger surprises him by pleading for the boy's life, if he will accompany him into the jungle to study chimpanzees. Luke goes, but is the stranger all that he seems? After a tragic turn of events, many days travel from civilization, Luke has to struggle to survive in a hostile world. Ultimately, it's only by finally finding a family, in the most unexpected of places with a troop of apes, that Luke learns to survive, how to accept and be accepted. Learning about chimpanzees' world and culture has been fascinating, and has led me to explore the core of what it means to be a person. I hope you'll join me on the adventure.
Hidden Like Anne Frank, edited by Marcel Prins, tells the stories of 14 young people who were hidden from the Nazis during World War II. Some were only 3 or 4 years old when they vanished. Some were teenagers. But they all survived, and they all have amazing stories to tell. Marcel Prins was inspired to record these first-person accounts, racing against time, because his own mother was a hidden child. To the survivor's moving testimony, he adds photographs, maps, and footnotes. Hidden Like Anne Frank is important to our understanding of the Holocaust. It's essential, and this outstanding contribution must be shared. And for you fans of great books in translation, Why We Took the Car by Wolfgang Herrndorf was the winner of Germany's top prize for youth literature. And it's a sweet, tender, funny road trip novel about two misfit boys on the ride of their lives. This is for fans of John Green, books with that emotional quality that captures real teens, especially real boys, their friendships, and their great adventures.
You may know Trent for his award-winning middle-grade novels Words in the Dust and Stealing Air, and he's making his YA debut with Divided We Fall. Trent, could you tell the good people watching here a little bit about the book?
Right. Divided We Fall is the story of a small-town boy caught in the middle of an intense national controversy. Daniel Wright is an Idaho Army National Guardsman who is called up by the governor to help the state police stop a protest, a riot, happening in Boise. When his unit arrives, he's hit in the face in the gas mask with a rock, which causes him to accidentally fire off a round and panic everyone, which leads to disastrous results.
I know it's set in the future, but it sounds like it seems to have a lot of relevance to the politics of today.
It's alarming how much I read in the news or see on the TV news that has to do with stuff I've written about for Divided We Fall. I began writing this novel maybe about 2 years ago, and from the very early stages I had a government shutdown over a budget dispute. And when I began writing this novel, I thought that people would find some of these events too far-fetched.
So we can't wait for you to read Divided We Fall, out in February. Vicky Alvear Schechter swept readers away with Cleopatra's Moon, her dazzling and sensuous evocation of the true story of Cleopatra's daughter. Now she returns with Curses and Smoke, about a rich girl and a rebellious slave who fall in love in the shadows of Pompeii, and the dark curse tied to both of their fates. Here to tell you about her latest wonderful novel is Vicky Alvear Schechter.
Hello, I'm Vicky Alvear Schechter, author of Curses and Smoke, a novel of Pompeii. Imagine this, it's weeks before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Tag is a medical slave in a gladiatorial school. Lucia is the daughter of the man who owns Tag. The two fall in love beneath the shadow of a mountain no one has any idea is about to explode. I've always been fascinated by not just the dead of Pompeii, but those who managed to survive and escape. I mean, the ash cloud was so thick, it turned day into night. So how did they do it? Where did they go? What was it like? Curses and Smoke is the story of two teens desperate not just to escape the volcano, but the limitations ancient society placed on them. I hope readers enjoy the trip back in time.
Hi, I'm Erin Black. What would you do to save someone that you love? This is the question posed in Victoria Scott's new novel, Fire and Flood. The unforgettable characters, heart-pounding pace, and the themes it explores about love and survival kept me up reading until 2 a.m. I had to know what happened next. Here's Victoria Scott to tell you more about this amazing new thriller.
Hi, I'm Victoria Scott, author of Fire and Flood. Fire and Flood is the story of a girl who enters a very dangerous race in order to try and save her brother's life. In this race, called the Brimstone Bleed, she's matched against other contenders, and every contender gets something called a Pandora. Pandoras are animals with special abilities, so you might get a wolf that breathes fire or an elephant that creates an earthquake when he stomps his feet. I think when I wrote this book, I had several objectives. The first being to make it a thriller. I really wanted to pack as much action as possible into this story and to make it start very early on in the book. I always have to have romance in my books, and this one is no exception. And finally, I wanted to ask a question, which is how far we're willing to go for those people we love and what things are we really willing to do. I hope that you love the characters and all the Pandoras and the story as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you.
17-year-old Carter Moon loves her life exactly how it is. But when Hollywood comes to her small town to film a movie starring teen heartthrob and PR disaster Adam Jakes, everything changes. And Carter finds herself being offered the secret part of a lifetime, playing the role of Adam's girlfriend to improve his public image in exchange for a hefty paycheck. Her family really needs the money, and Carter figures it'll be just like any other summer job. But the more time she spends with Adam, the more the line between reality and pretend are blurred. What follows is a story as much about falling in love as it is about finding yourself. Kim has woven a deliciously addicting read, perfect for summer.
Hi, I'm Anamika Bhatnagar. Michael Northrop's first YA novel, Gentleman, earned him a Publishers Weekly flying start in 2009. The New York Times praised it as creepy. His second novel, Trapped, was named an ALA quick pick for reluctant young adult readers, and Booklist proclaimed the pages turn like wildfire. Now Michael is back with Surrounded by Sharks, another stellar and suspenseful read that will leave teens and older middle graders breathless. And here to tell you about it is the author himself.
Hello, I'm Michael Northrop. The sharks in my new book don't launch themselves out of the water like human-seeking missiles. They aren't voracious rogues with a taste for human flesh. They're just regular sharks. They don't even immediately identify people as food. But real sharks are scary too. They lurk, they circle, they're curious. For a 13-year-old Davy Searing, that's almost worse. After slipping out of his family's overcrowded hotel room early one morning, he finds a secluded beach, so secluded that no one sees him get carried out to sea by a riptide. Now he's floating on an empty water cooler bottle. Like all floating objects in open ocean, he attracts attention. First little fish, then big ones. Under those conditions, a shark attack is no longer a statistical oddity. It's just a matter of time.
Hi, I'm Marissa Polanski. In the summer of 1964, when the South was a segregated and racially charged place, James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner went down to Mississippi to register African American voters and bring equality to the South. But before they could accomplish this, they disappeared. 44 days later, the three men were found dead. Their brutal murders by the Ku Klux Klan became one of the most significant events in the civil rights movement. The Freedom Summer Murders contains over 100 images, including never-before-seen photos, documents, and mementos from the victims' families. The publication coincides with the 50th anniversary of the Freedom Summer and provides an opportunity to bring to light this dark period in American history.
Hello, I'm Barry Cunningham from The Chicken House, and I'm so pleased and proud to be introducing Lucy Christopher and her magnificent new novel, The Killingwoods. It's a story of teenage conflict. It's about who did it, who didn't do it, and why. And it's a wonderful follow-up to her Prince Honor book, Stolen, which has got fans from around the world. And I'm really pleased to say we have a specially recorded interview with her for you.
Hi, I'm Lucy Christopher, and I'm very excited to talk to you today about my new book, The Killingwoods. So the catalyst for the book's plot is the death of a teenage girl who was found in the woods one hot summer night. The novel is told from two perspectives, a boy and a girl, Emily and Damon, both of whom knew the dead girl, Ashley, in different ways. The novel starts with Emily's narrative. Emily is up late at night. It's after a summer thunderstorm, and she's waiting for her dad to come home. Her dad is a discharged combat soldier returning from Afghanistan, where he was part of a terrible accident that resulted in a civilian's death. He's not coping too well with being home, suffering quite severely with post-traumatic stress disorder, spending a lot of time in the woods behind their house in an abandoned army bunker. The novel begins when Emily sees him come home that night.